I want to welcome everybody to the webinar. This webinar, I'm going to review all of the new features of the just released Sparkbooth 4.0 that is included in the new beta version of Sparkbooth DSLR. I'm not going to review all of how to hook up the DSLR, any of that. It's just going to be the features within those two new software programs that have just been released. And I'll get my face off the screen down there. Sorry about that. Unless you want to look at my face at the same time, we could do that. I can see me down there at the bottom. I think you can. What we're going to do is I'm going to walk through all of the new features so that you understand how 4.0 and the new features in DSLR are there. This is not going to be a discussion webinar where you can ask questions. We're going to do that later. After the webinar is over, you can go to the sparkbooth.com website, click on the discussions area, and you will see a webinar discussion area where we can leave messages. Okay? Everyone's been wondering what is so good about 4.0. Well, let me give you an idea. This is, if I can get it in the right spot, this screen here that you're looking at. Can you see that full screen there, John? I'm not 100% sure because of this box on my right-hand side, and it kind of looks like you can, I think. I'm going to leave it open. Oh, the box is blocking it. That's not good. Let's get it out of the way. Okay, what you're looking at here is the actual 3.8, the version just before 4.0. Usually what you'd see on that window, it would say, click here to start, or whatever words you put in that box. So what is the difference with 4.0? It's hot. All I can say is 4.0 is extremely hot. And obviously I'm not looking up at the camera, it's up there. Okay? How hot is it? Well, there are new features. One of those new features is inside of the list of many new features here. I will go through 99.9% of those thoroughly. Okay, you don't have to write that down. If that list you want to see it, it is on the website. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. We will also be reviewing the difference between the 3.8 About Settings window, the General window, and the Start Screen window. The 3.8 windows in Settings have all changed to a new settings window in Sparkbooth 4. So we'll start with the function keys. In the past it was function key, it was an F1 key, and that was to get you to all the regular settings within Sparkbooth. Then there was the F3 key to get you to the camera settings within Sparkbooth. Okay? It's been a major change there. Not only can some computers still use the F1 key to get into the settings and the F3 to get into the camera, there is a new setting that those computers will still can use called F2. But because some computers cannot recognize the F function keys because they're utilized in some other form, there's an update ready for my computer. Ain't that nice? Sorry about that. There is some computers cannot recognize or have already used the F function keys. So now you would use Control and 1, or Control and the number 2, or Control and the number 3. Control 1 will take you to the main settings window inside of Sparkbooth. Control 3 will take you to the camera settings within inside of Sparkbooth. Control 2, or if your computer still will use the function keys, the F2 key will take you inside of the settings for, let's see, the settings for start screen. Okay, and I'm going to review the difference here by actually opening up the settings screen within Sparkbooth. And I'm going to hit Control 1, and that takes us to our settings screen. Okay, the About screen has not really changed. You just want to be aware of check for updates. As long as you have an internet connection, I would suggest you do that before going out to an event to do a photo booth. Because if you're recently, Facebook made a change in their setup for how you can connect into Facebook, and when they did, you couldn't connect into it because we didn't have an update for it until we found out about it. Once John found out about it, he made a correction to that. Okay, let me check something here real quick. Save questions for later is what John typed in. Okay. Okay, so I would always suggest that you check for updates. That's pretty much the About screen. Other than the statistics, you can reset your settings and start out with 0 and keep track of how many sessions you actually do at every event. And that is no different. Photo layouts. I'm going to go into this elaborately. The general screen. Well, you'll notice that the start screen is missing between general and the keyboard, or general and the layouts. There is no start screen window here. That would be the F2 key. And what that does, the F2 or Control 2, brings up a new window that has your start screen settings. John did it this way so that you can actually check on the album button, or the change color button, or the change photo layout button, or the change overlay button, or the cancel button. You can actually see right on your screen it taking place, so you see what's happening. Okay, let's start at the top. Themes. As in the past, we have all the same themes that everybody's accustomed to using. Mainly, most everybody was using red curtains. There's our red curtains from before. Okay? All of those are in there. John added some new ones. I'm not going to remember every one of them, but that fire you saw a little while ago was one of them. So if you have a hot event that you want to put fire in the background on your screen, you got fire. Football's a new one. As you can see here, that it actually gives you a full screen so you can see it and get a better idea what it looks like. In the past, if you wanted to use a custom background for your screen, you would click on Invisible, and it would give you the desktop. Obviously, I got junk on my desktop right now. Let's see if I don't want to minimize the wrong window, but I don't want to make mine invisible. There is a new one besides football and New Year, or football and fire, and there's one other one in here, and I can't remember what it is, and John's probably typing it in my window on the right. Okay, Ed says to disable the fire theme. It is causing a... It's screwed up. I got rid of the fire screen. Okay. See, I got to keep that window open. Can I minimize it a little bit smaller? Maybe it'll be out of the way. No. I can't make it smaller. Okay, I don't want it in the way. Yeah, I was going to do custom theme, John. I'm getting there. Okay, one of the most the one that really gets me really nice is what's called the custom theme. Let me get this monster out of our way. Just back up on my screen. Get this out of our way. Get this out of our way. Get this out of our way. Now, let's go full screen. Custom background. With a custom background, what I'm going to do here real quick, if I can, I'm going to close this for a moment. Minimize this window. Close up Sparkbooth 3.0. Bring it up full screen for you so we can see it a little bit better. Okay. Back in the F2 settings, where we got a custom background. You'll notice the background back there is not fire, it's not red curtains, it's not any of the ones that are in the system. Over here on the right hand side, let me make sure that we can see, where did my window go here? Make sure everybody, did I cut anything off my screen, John, when I do that? Yes, okay, so I can't go full screen like I want to. Okay, I'm going to make sure you can see my screen. I'll just make the window a little bit bigger if I can. Of course I can't. But you can browse your computer for a file. Okay, and I'm going to go into a folder I have down here called Webinar. And inside that folder I have a background that I like to use for special events. Silver Silk. It's kind of hard to see. Close the window so you can see it a little bit better. But as you can see here, it's like a silvery background. Make the window a little bit bigger. Okay. Back into the wrong button. We're back into the F2 settings. What's really nice about it is by using the custom background and selecting the background that you want. And the one I prefer to use is this one here. It's just an image off of my computer. Someplace off the internet, you can go find a nice background image and use it. But let's say that you're doing an event for, say, Ford Motor Company or maybe the Lions Club, and you really want to promote their company by using one of their icons. You can actually use an icon. I'll grab that icon that I was talking about. And that icon is a very small Lions Club. It doesn't look very good to me. I don't think it looks very good to you either. But look at this. If you tile it, it will cover your entire background with the Lions Club icon. I think that is really cool. You can also change the color of the behind the icon. Any color you want. If you wanted it red, make it red. You want it black, black, make it black. So that is one of the really cool features. Okay, the next thing over here, this is not a change, preview only, so that you know if you click on preview only, your window gets a little bigger for the people in the window, and it doesn't have the 3 or 4, how many photo boxes on the left. Okay? Show your banner has not changed. There's my banner right there, which is my company logo. Start button, album button, those are no different than before, other than the text on the start button. This text down here is the text you see right here. You can put anything you want in there. Click here to start if you're using a touch screen. Just about anything you need. Okay, why did that pop up? Get that out of the way. All right. Let's take a look at the buttons. If you can follow my arrow over here on the right, I'm going to point in the wrong direction. Right here. This little icon goes to the album. That's the same as it was before. When you click on it, it will go to the album. This is a new one. I'm going to describe that in a moment. This one here changes between color, black and white, sepia tone, and photomatic. And this one here takes you to the layouts. That has not changed either. Okay? So let me close up this here. And we're going to go through some of these buttons on the screen. First one here is not any changes. It's basically going into what I call the gallery, the library, or whatever, wherever you got pictures stored, that's where it's taking you to. And you can click through these, and if you have it set up for printing, or texting, or emailing, or Facebook, or any of the uploading, there'll be icons over here on the left-hand side. I turned all that off for this meeting, this webinar. Okay? I'm going to jump back over to the left side. If you have different layouts set up, you'll be clicking on that to switch between the favorites in your layouts. Okay? These are just some layouts I have in here. Now what I'm going to do here is go back to this one layout. That one will work. Click on the F2 key or Control 2 to get back into here and quickly switch this back over. I don't like that icon on the screen. Okay. One thing that a lot of people, it's not anything new, but I think you should realize the preview pane. Some people really don't know what that was. In fact, for a while I didn't either. Basically, you can browse your computer, and you'll notice up here the little icons have shadow images. That's what it's going to put in there, different shadow images for the icon. But if you browse your computer, and we're going to go into the webinar folder where I put a nice little image in here for you to look at. You can use any photo from any one of your webinars, single photo, and when you click close, the next time you click on the favorites button, it'll take a little while to load because now it's going to load that photo into all of the boxes. Okay? You click on it again. If you have different layouts in there, sorry, my face froze. it will go through each one of them and load it into, excuse me, it will load it into the preview pane. But you have to go through them individually one at a time until they are all loaded. No, it was just trying to load a picture for me, John. Once I get these pictures loaded up, then you'll see. I think I got one more. Then I'll get back into the settings window and we'll continue on with settings. So I can show you some of the new things that are within the settings. One more. Sorry, I keep looking down. My webcam is above my face. And now you can see here, once they're all loaded, you can click through them very quickly. It doesn't take any time at all. All right, let me get to the one that I want to stay on for now. Get back into settings. So we've gone through the F2 key, which are the start screen settings, and the new functions that are within that. The F1 or Control 1 key takes you into the regular settings where you've got layouts. What's new in the layouts? Well, the layout creator has been internally added. While I'm talking about this, John, take a look at the Sparkbooth forum. It looks like there's a bunch of messages over there. Okay? The layout creator button is this one right here, right below the red heart. By clicking on that, see if John, okay, by clicking on this icon on the left, it opens up right within the Sparkbooth program the layout creator. Isn't that neat? Yeah, okay. It gets better. If you were to create a layout from one of the read-onlys, let's grab one of these over here like this one here. Okay, I just grabbed one. I didn't know which one it was. Obviously, in the read-only, you need to clone it first so that you can actually use it. Okay? I'm going to try to get back to the one I was just on. Let's use this one here. Let me show you what I think is the coolest thing in the new internal layout creator. In the past, we could put in a background over here on the right-hand side and an overlay. What I would do is I'd put in a background like this blue background here, and I would put in an overlay like the text that you see here. Okay? The heart might be in part of the overlay with the text because it's transparent and it sets over the top of the photos. Now you can still put in a background and you can still put in an overlay. But now we have a new button up here called text. You see the T at the top of the screen. Can you see that, John? I just want to make sure that that T on the top of the screen isn't out of view. Okay, it is in view. Okay, by clicking on the T or pointing to the T, it says add text. When you click on it, a new little box window comes up over here on the right-hand side, and a box comes in with some text in it. Okay? You can resize the box any size you want. You're not going to type right here. You're going to type over here on the right-hand side. Bob and Sue for their wedding day. What I think is really cool about it is not only can you type it in, you can make it bold, you can make it any color you want, okay? You can make it italic, you can underline it, just like you can in any other text program. You can even rotate it any direction you want, totally rotatable. Select whatever font you want. If you got a font on your computer that you really want to use all the time, let me try to find something down here that's not going to make me look stupid. I'm looking for Times New Roman in alphabetical order. If a client has a special text, you would have to get that text from them and load it onto your computer where your fonts are loaded. Make it any size you want. There's a little icon here to move it up in size or down in size. Okay? Move it to wherever you want. Okay? You'll notice here that it is being placed right on top of this, what looks to me like an overlay. But I'm going to get rid of this box here and actually work with the one I created before by clicking the trash can of the icon I'm working on, or the area I'm working on is text, and it removes that. Dominic and James is text that I've added. The date is text that I've added. So basically, this layout has text built into it. I can move it anywhere I want. One thing you want to remember is when you're dealing with the layouts now, you're basically dealing with them in layers. The last thing that you created or added to it is basically on the top of the other item. So if you wanted to have this text partially covering the box, the photo box above it, you can do that. But if you were to click on the photo box above it and click on it to front over here on the right-hand side, you'll see when we preview this window, it's getting there. Dale, I need the preview window. See what happened here? All those previews are all of that picture. You'll notice that this box has been brought to the front. It's covering up part of my heart and part of my text. So let's get rid of this monster. So what I would do in that case is make sure I click back on the text, bring it to the front, click back on the heart, bring it to the front, move my text back down to here. Oh, the heart. That is an item. Yeah, pictures, icons, images, anything you want to add that is a transparent file, image file, you can add it in. And it adds it in whatever size it actually was. But it's set up now so that when you resize it, it keeps it within its original proportions so that it's not going to get stretched out of whack. Rotate the image any way you want. Okay? Place it wherever you want. So if you wanted to put a little butterfly somewhat partially overlaying some of the photos, this is what it would look like. Jeopardy music, Dale. We have the heart, we have the butterfly, we have example photos, because those are what I'd selected before. You no longer have to use Photoshop. Okay? Once you're done, you click away from everything. I suggest that you always export the layout file to a folder where you can save it, name it, and you'll have it to use later because you can bring it back in to make other changes to it. Currently, it states over here on the right-hand side, close, which takes you back into the photo layouts with that new layout that you just created. Okay? Most of you should know about the red hearts. Okay? Now, if you wanted to remove all of the red favorite hearted items that you have, all you'd have to do is click on, I'm trying to remember, you click on the control. Come on, John, help me out here. Type it in that little box down there. Oh, I'm sorry. What are you looking for? I'm looking for unfavoriting all the favorites. I click on Control and the Favorites button. Hold down the Control and press, yeah, that's the same thing. Hold down the Control key and press the Favorites button, and all the red hearts will disappear. I'm not going to do that because I've got favorites in here that I want to save to show you. Okay? But that's what you do, is click on the Control key, hold down the Control key, and click the red heart. Clicking it individually when you're switching. Obviously, when you switch to a different layout, you click it, you can unheart it. All right? So that's the layouts window. You can also preview the layout you have right in the layouts window. Let me get this box out of our way. All right? Now, the general window. Why did the box pop up on top? Sorry about that. In the general window, a lot of the items that were in here before are now in the Control 2 or F2 function key with the settings. Let's take a look at what we have new here. Okay. You're asking me what I'm looking for. It's in the other window. Keyboard window. Doesn't look like anything's really changed here, but we do now have a Control O that controls the overlays that we're going to get into down here a little further. Okay? All of these are keyboard functions, and I would suggest that you take a picture of that keyboard so that you can actually use the functions when you're out in the field. Okay? Control Z is very useful to cancel a photo session, and you can cancel it all the way up before the last photo is taken. Get into photo effects. This has not changed. That still has color, black and white, sepia, and photomatic. Fomomatic. Okay? Voice has not changed. We haven't added any new voices yet, but you can add your own. Countdown timer. This is what I was looking for. In the countdown timer, what is different here? You can actually select a few new ones. Fingers to count down. Test it looks like this here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kind of fun. There's words. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that number changes according to what countdown you used. Okay? Let's see. Count timer. Okay. What else is new is now the timer doesn't have to be in the middle of your screen while people are trying to take pictures. You can set it in the center. It would be in the center of the screen. Or you can set it at the top. I know it doesn't look like it moved very far, but you got to remember there's a window there that they're actually standing in, looking in, or at the bottom. Now it's not right in their face when they're trying to take their pictures. Countdown is the same as before, from 3 to 10. Shot delay is the same as it was before, from 3 to 20. Screen overlays is brand new. It looks like it's blank, but it's not. Screen overlays was that mustache icon, and mustaches would look like this. And I'm going to close the window so you can see the mustache icon. So if I were to start a session with the mustache icon, I already have one.
Here we go.
But in the booth, they would be standing there and take a picture. Okay?
Wait a minute.
Give me a new picture. Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, it was only on a single picture, so you can take a look at what it looks like. Okay?
See you soon.
So that's kind of neat. The little red circle in the bottom right with the X was the cancel button. Okay? But with the settings, you can set up each of these as favorites. Okay? You can set up none, so there's nothing on the screen. Sunglasses, that's built in. Just text. Now this just text is only on the screen for the purposes of the DSLR program that may not have live view. They'll be able to at least see that on the screen. All right? So, what else is built in is Mustaches 1, Mustaches 2, Pirates Long, Pirates Medium, and John has quite a few more in his bag of tricks. I have added a few of my own, one that I call frames. let me switch over to a different layout so you can actually get a better idea of what frames look like. Back to the one that had the, no, we'll use this one here. I've got it set up now for frames, and when I start it, you'll see the frame of the flowers in the corner. That was one frame. Okay? There's another frame.
Say cheese.
And there's spider webs. That's not a frame, but I guess I got to get rid of bugs. I got to get some bug spray. These are just a few that I had created.
One more.
I'm not going to hit cancel because I want you to see the picture how it comes out.
Hold on.
Oh, what was that making a GIF? To see that each one of the pictures, individual pictures, has that special overlay. And they're on each one of the pictures. There's a frame in the upper right.
Thank you.
Okay? Back into the settings. So you can actually do some really cool things in here. Basically by clicking on create a screen overlay set. You click on it, name it whatever you want, click OK, and you're starting from scratch. Starting from scratch means you need to add a screen overlay set. I'm going to go in here and grab something that I'm going to use as a screen overlay. And let's say that I was going to use that item there. You can mirror it if it's something that needs to be mirrored. You can apply it to the picture or not. If you just wanted it to be on the screen, you could do it that way. Okay? You can select whether you want it on the first picture, at the start screen, the first picture, the second picture, third picture, or fourth picture, depending on how many photos you have, or just random amongst all the photos, or just show up at the end. Okay? And you can add another one. You'd go find another new item that you would add, and let me see if I can find something in here. We'll grab this frame over here. Okay? And the same thing, you select how you want it to be on the screen. I'm going to make this one number 1, that one number 2. If you decide later you want to rename this new screen overlay to something different, you just go into the rename and rename it. If you decide later that you don't like this single overlay, you can trash it. If you want to get rid of the whole new screen overlay set that you created, you can trash it. Just to make sure that you're not making a mistake, you have the option of yes or no. Okay? Prompts. There are a few things that are in here that are new to 4.0 and DSLR. You can actually set it up to prompt for them to type in their name, type in their email, type in their guest comment. You have to remember though, when you're doing that, you need to have either a touch screen with the on-screen keyboard or a keyboard available for them to type this information in. All right. Let's see what else is new here. Saving. In saving, we have photos, layouts. You change whatever folder you want to put your photo layouts in, as before. Individual photos, as before. And gifts, animated GIFs, GIFs, and I will show you what those are. There is one more in the DSLR that is not on the screen, and I believe it's called Original Image. Is that correct, John? Yes. So there is one more that you can save called Original Image. What it does is it saves the original image in its full, I want to say, size, aspect ratio, which is a larger image than what you would normally have untouched, John's saying, unmodified. Okay, so, but there is one more in the DSLR. While we're on GIF animations, let's take a look at what a GIF animation actually is. Basically, when you take 4 or 5 pictures, like in the last one that we took, it takes those pictures and saves it as an animation. Kind of like this crazy guy here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, that's not in my photo booth. It's in my second editing studio. But it creates an animation. You save it in whatever folder you want so that the client can have some fun with guest animations from the pictures that were taken. Kind of cool. Okay. All right. Say printing. I do not believe there's anything different here in printing unless, because I've been using 4.0 for a while now, pad margins may be new to some of you. But basically you're setting that up, you've probably been setting that up in the prior version. There's probably a lot of people out there that don't have any of the versions. We will be open for questions on all the other features, and we will be doing some other training webinars down the road, or at least I will. Okay, thank you. Send to account. In the past, we had a window. These are all new. Send to account, send to guest, send photo later. Okay? They're not really new, but they were inside of the folder that was called uploading. Now it's send to, get this out of my way. Now it's, they're separated into individual spots. All right? Where am I at here? Send to account. You select what account you want to send it to, and each one of these can be configured to send to all of these that are in here. Okay? And it will keep a log file. Send to guest. I don't do the photo uploading myself, but with send to guest, you can set it up to allow the guest to choose to send the photos to their Facebook, to their Twitter, or email, and you can have it make sure that it has the account that you're logged into for your own email, your company email. Okay? If you've got an email service to email, such as Mandrill, you have to set up an account with Mandrill. It is free. You can send a ton of photos through your email with Mandrill. Text to cell phone. You would need to log into whatever service you're using for Twilio,
Okay.
that does charge a fee. It's not part of Sparkbooth, but if you're choosing Twilio, Twilio or however you pronounce it, they do charge a fee, and you would have log into there, set it up. Pinterest, the same thing goes there. You would set up your account with them, and you can join it right from here. All right. So that pretty much covers the guest. Send photo later. This has not changed in any way other than we have, let me see here. We have a few more send to that we didn't have before. Okay. But you can actually save the photos to send it later in a cache. Messages. For those that do not use English, this is where you would type in all of your messages that are the on-screen messages, like mine that says, say, I'm ready to start. Most of the time would just say, press here to start. Type it in your own language. I'm going to back up a moment here so that you understand voices. All of the voices that are built into it are in English, but you can record your own get ready. Record your own photo number 2 and photo number 3 and so on and forth. You can record your own, save it as an MP3 file. Correct, John? And click on the paperclip to use a custom voice that you've created. So it would be in your language. Okay? We were on photo, send a photo later. And the messages. The photo album. Inside of the photo album, you can set it up for sharing to all of your different setups for the account. So if I were to close the settings window, open up the album, and select a photo out of the album. Let me grab one of the double strips. It automatically brings up all of these different icons to send to all of these different places. If I wanted to print an extra copy, print as many as you set it for. I set mine for 8. You can let them print as many as 20. You click OK, it sends it to the printer. Facebook. Okay, I didn't click that. Okay, Facebook, Twitter, email. Okay, right from the library, gallery, texting, Pinterest, they're all in there once you've selected a picture. I love using the gallery for making extra pictures. Okay, back into the settings and we'll finish up here. One thing that's missing, you will notice, from the original settings, we had commercial down here at the bottom. Now with the new 4.0, it's been changed to premium. Inside of premium, it has changed quite a bit. In the past, we had a major scroll down window and you'd scroll through everything. Well, now John has made it a little easier, so you can click from left to right to go to each one of the different settings, or you can use the scroll bar here to go to each one. In the general setting, we have the same as before, square or widescreen. If you select square, you will not be able to use a widescreen layout from the layout listing, and you will vice versa, you will not be able to use a widescreen in square. They're two separate issues. They don't fit. What's new here is enable a custom file name. By checking that, you can have a prefix in the front and what number you want it to start on. I'm going to go over to the folder where I have some photos that were saved in a different window and show you that pictures test. You can see that these pictures are numbered 07, 08, 09, 0010, 0011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and so on. Okay? If you were doing new pictures, like we just did 2 new pictures, number 21 and number 22, it will continually adding those and you can change them at any time. What's nice is instead of having 2 zeros in front of that number, you could put the bride and groom's initials, Dave and Sue, okay? And then index up and down to where you want it to start at. If you want it to start at 0, start it at 0. The point 00 at the end is being removed. Currently it's just there just to make it a little easier for you to see the numbers rolling up and down, I guess. All right? You can use it if you want, or uncheck it if you don't want. Okay? You'll also notice right above it, it's showing you how it will look when you're scrolling up above it. If I had over here Dave and Sue, it has a DNS with the 35, 37, or whatever. All right? Switch it back to double zeros. All right. Next thing. Under General, Facebook app is over here. Twitter app is over here. You'd set that up. MailChimp, set it up. Import and export. I suggest if you're going to use your Sparkbooth in another computer, once you set up Sparkbooth in the first computer with all of the settings, you export the file and save it. Put it on a flash drive. Open up the new computer, load Sparkbooth with the program, the software, and then import that file into that computer. It will save you a tremendous amount of time. Let me get back to our window over here. I believe that covers 99% of what was new. You'll notice John has typed in a message. If you have any questions, we do have a new Sparkbooth help section that's called Webinar. That's where we want you to post your messages, questions, comments. There are a ton of other little things that were done. Favorites for all. How to control plus favorite button. That way you can unfavorite. That was one I was having a little problem with. We have over here, send photos to your guest account on the page in the same session. You can now use Trilio, to SMS and MMS uploader in the photo booth album viewer. Pinterest, that's new. New screen overlays. You can have some fun with that for kids' parties. You can imagine how much fun you'd have with the creating different overlays to use. The custom theme is what I think is really neat in the background screen, because you can set it up for any event to be totally custom to their event just by using their icons, their logos, or something that you create yourself, or just some photo that they might want in the background. The new themes were fire, pirate, and fire, pirate, and football. Custom file names, that was the adding the extra letters in front. Change start and prompt text. That was where we actually changed the text for the start button down at the bottom of the screen. You're not stuck with a button that just says start on it. You can put whatever you want in that button. And you will notice on my screen it says, say I'm ready to start. New countdown and styles with the hands. Did I show all of those? But there are quite a few new things. Larger on-screen keyboard for those that are using an on-screen keyboard. All the themes have been changed to use less memory to help you keep it running smoothly. So that pretty much has everything you want to know. So basically you'd ask, how cool is Sparkbooth 4.0 DSLR? Well, it's not cool. It's hot. Sorry, Ed. It's flickering on the screen. I'll fix it. But you can set it up with just about any image you want. And I'm going to go back to the custom image. And it automatically defaults back to the one you had it set up for in your default. So if you have any questions, please go to the webinar on the website and start popping in messages.